Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Coalition League's Demacia Gold League Week 1 here. Sorry, not the Demacia, the Noxus League, pardon me. Week 1 here. I'm Random Minion Caster and glad to be casting this game 1 here between EXNL and Vengeful Reapers. Both these teams have somewhat played in the Coalition League before in various forms. So on the blue side for game 1 here, we've got EXNOL in the top lane. I'm very upset now. New top laner to the league. In the jungle, Wild Goose Chase, previously known as OG Goose Chase, playing for C2 in the spring split. In the mid lane, new mid laner Glub Glub. And in the bot lane for this game, we've got XX Wolf as ADC and Sustain as support. Now, something to note here is EXNL is running 2 substitutes right now, so they will be losing some bans here. They are using a jungle and ADC substitute, so losing 3 total bans here in the pick and ban phase. On the red side, we've got Vengeful Reapers coming back as a complete team from the spring split, pardon me. So names that you'll probably recognize here. In the top lane, Microthorn. In the jungle, NOLZ or Noise. In the mid lane, Jason KB23, who had previously seen as a jungler for the team. And in the bot lane, the ADC and support pairing of Imagines and J Delian. And with that, we'll just jump right into the pick bans here. So EXNL losing 3 bans right off the bat, will only ban out the Nico and Silas. And so looking like they're targeting the mid lane. And as we said, so Jason KB last split playing jungle for the team. So different champion pool that they'll have to be focusing banning out here for Vengeful Reapers. On the side of Vengeful Reapers, they banned out the Echo, Nocturne, Syndra, and Set. So a bit split between the jungle and then the solo lanes here. That jungle the Echo most likely a jungle ban targeted at Wild Goose Chase here. In terms of picks, EXNL going with the Thresh Caitlyn bot lane, Warwick in the jungle, Ari in the mid lane, and Ornn in the top lane here. So very standard composition, very safe composition. On the side of Vengeful Reapers, they're going with a Wukong in the top lane, Misfortune, Nautilus in the bot lane. And we've seen this coming out of Imagines and J Delian quite a bit last split as well. So definitely a very familiar bot lane. In the mid lane, we've got Orianna for Jason and Noise taking the Amumu into the jungle. So very standard team fight composition. We've seen a lot of this thus far in the Coalition League. Very good ball delivery system. We've seen Curse of the Sad bullet time be an absolute force to be reckoned with in the mid game here. So seeing that Amumu Misfortune along with the really strong initiate from the Nautilus, Vengeful Reapers definitely looking like they've got a very strong team composition drafted for themselves here. Like I said earlier, EXNL has a bit more of a balanced composition. They won't be as strong in the team fights, but they still have the Ornhorn here for the team fights, as well as a lot of disruption, and they've got a lot of pick potential here. The Charm from the Ari, the Infinite Duress from Warwick there, and the Traps from Caitlyn, the Hooks from Thresh. So definitely EXNL going to be looking for those picks, those isolated fights and skirmishes, and we'll have to see if they can indeed find these picks that they need to win the game with. And with that, the teams have loaded here onto the Summer's Rift. I'm just going to head right over here into the Rift alongside them. And level 1, they could choose to invade. Both sides having a hook champion for themselves early. We do see the early pings coming down on the side of EXNL into the bot lane. Does look like Wild Goose Chase is having a bit of connection issues, is not available, so EXNL not going to be able to invade here. And on the side of Vengeful Reapers, looks like they just want a standard start here. They just want to make sure they don't get invaded on, just covering all their entrances. Now that, I do think a lot of action will be happening down in that bot lane here between the Nautilus, Misfortune, and the Thresh Caitlyn. Both these bot lanes, hook champions, means that they might have to engage. If Nautilus lands a hook, that's a fight started right away in the bot lane. Sustain on the Thresh has the advantage that he does not have to take his hook into the fight, so he can pick and choose which fights he thinks will be more beneficial for him. And with a Caitlyn to partner with him there, they will be able to get a lot more poke down with that range sort of poke down the MF and Nautilus before opting to engage there. So it will be beneficial for Imagines and Jadelian to keep trying to get those fights started, keep going in and forcing quick, short trades there. And with that said, we do now have both junglers starting on the bot side of the map. We've seen this a lot here actually in the league, and it kind of makes sense because often ganking that bot lane super early isn't terribly beneficial for the junglers. And also they kind of want to influence that top and mid lane, those solo lanes, a little bit more. If you get your mid laner ahead, that really does unlock the whole map for your team if they get the pressure in the top lane, that isolated lane. If you can get your top laner ahead, they can often just continue oppressing the enemy mid lane, enemy top laner. And in an Ornn versus Wukong matchup here, if you can get the Wukong ahead, Ornn will have a tough time coming back into the game here, and you definitely do want to have that strong AoE presence from either of the top laners. Both of them did opt to take teleport here. Now bot lane fight starting off as Jadelian lands that hook we were talking about. A lot of damage coming down, the ignite coming down. Will the heal be enough? No, it will not. That's going to be first blood going down to Jadelian as the ignite takes down, and that was what we were talking about. This is what Imagines and Jadelian need to do here. Just get those engages. They're stronger right now in those early team fights, and hitting that level 2 early was absolutely massive for them. Now they've got another hook on to XX Wolf here. They're going to flash in. Can Imagine finish it? No, they can't. XX Wolf going to survive with slivers of health in that bot lane there. That's still going to be flash blown for Imagine. XX Wolf not even having to use his flash to get out there. So good trade of summoners for the side of EXNL. But that is still first blood on Jadelian, and normally you might not want to see your support get it, but it's not a bad thing if you have an engaged support to get that early gold. They get that much tanky. He's got the boots now, got the cloth armor, will be able to initiate with that much more impunity there, and the boots will allow him to position a bit better. We're seeing Imagines picking up the boots as well, not opting for that Doran's blade start that we often see here, where they just stack a ton of Doran's blades onto the Misfortune, making it very tanky, very, very high damage, but they're not going to do that. Instead, opting just for a bit more mobility. Mid lane now, gank Noise getting a beautiful bandage toss. It will not be enough to finish Glub Glub, but it will do a lot of damage. Instead, he's going to take a lot of turret from the damage from the turret. He will have to flash out, but it won't be enough as the ignite coming down from Glub Glub will finish him. Jadelian roaming up now to hopefully match this. The hook comes down, hits a minion instead of Wild Goose Chase, but the stun is good. Will allow Jason to back off safely there, and that evens up the kill score to 1-1 now. And we did see Sustain roaming up as well, hiding in the bush there, watching as Jadelian walks right past him. Didn't want to engage that, didn't feel comfortable in the 1v1. And top lane, we're seeing, I'm very upset now, just punishing Microthorn there with his tankiness. Does have to be careful though, is being taken a little low, and Wild Goose Chase is going to look for a gank in the bot lane here. Jadelian using his body to block it, but the fear is good, pushing him back, and the damage from XX Wolf comes out. They will be able to take it down. Wild Goose Chase has to be careful. He's taking a lot of damage, and Noise has arrived, and suddenly the tides have turned here, but a beautiful play to keep Imagines from continuing the engage there. Noise going to just hop right over that trap with a bandage toss. Going to be followed by Imagines. Does he have enough mana for a double up? No, he does not. Instead, will get pulled into turret, but Wild Goose Chase returning here, really low on health, but the sustain is good enough, and they finished that fight in the bot lane. They managed to pick up all three, Jadelian, Imagines, and Noise, eventually going down in that fight there. So that's a 3-for-0 in the bot lane. EXNL finds himself a solid lead. Now looking in the top lane, Microthorn getting damage down. Did use the teleport to get back into lane. Will flash in as he tries to finish this off, but he's short the damage. No, he manages to get it. Just barely enough. Will suffer 2 turret shots, but it's worth as he does pick up. I'm very upset now, and the name might be true as he just goes down under turret. Just short that little bit of health to survive there. And Vengeful Reapers pulls themselves back a little bit in this fight. I'm very upset, going to use his teleport as well straight into that top lane. Going to try and take advantage of the health and item advantage he'll have after basing a little later. Did manage to pick up the Bambi's Cinder there compared to just the boots and longsword on the side of Microthorn. So that's a bit of a item advantage, not to mention Ornn can build items in lane as well, so we can expect to continue seeing that item advantage snowball a little bit, especially since the teleports are down right now in the top lane. And the dragon is up. The mountain drake here. We do see Imagines walking past it, just getting the vision down right now. And both top laners will not be able to participate in this drake take if it happens anytime soon. Neither of them having their teleports, and neither of them looking like they're in a position to roam out of their lanes right now. Instead, we see Noise completely abandoning the dragon there. Looks like he's hitting top potentially for a gank maybe. And I'm very upset right now. Is pushed up quite far without vision. He's going in on Microthon. He's used his gap closer here, and the ultimate coming out from Microthon. The Wukong ultimate can be procced twice. Does do it, and they get the knock-up and the stun at the same time. That's going to be a kill going over the way of Microthorn, but Wild Goose Chase is going to take this opportunity to start that Mountain Drake up. Warwick, very, very tanky, has extremely good sustain, can solo that Drake, and his bot lane's pushing, his mid lane's pushing. He will have the ability to take that and know if anybody's rotating to try and cut him off there. And that should be first Drake going the way of EXNL, trading it for their top laner's life. And Mountain Drake early in the game doesn't have that much of an effect. It is a percentage increase on the resistances and armor there, but it will be very nice on quite a few members here of EXNL. Ornn, of course, very, very tanky, will enjoy the boost from that. Wild Goose Chase on that Warwick too often does get quite tanky as well, and Thresh in the bot lane with his stacking armor will benefit from this. So definitely something that the side of EXNL will enjoy as they scale into the game. Then the next Drake will be Ocean Drake, so whichever team manages to get that will enjoy the regeneration buff. If the lanes are still in their laning phase at that point, that can cause quite a swing towards one team or the other. But right now the team's fairly even, 4-3 the kill score right now, and the gold lead 1,000 towards the side of EXNL, and a lot of that gold right now sitting in that bot lane primarily. 1,000 gold up for XX Wolf over Imagines here. The supports though, Jdelian's still up a little bit from that first blood he got earlier. The other lanes fairly balanced. Top lane down about 500 for EXNL, but down about 500 on the side of the junglers for Vengeful Reaper as well. So very balanced game right now, and we'll have to see what happens. As we do see, I'm very upset, roaming down. Is he looking for a gank here into the mid lane potentially? He does have the Ornhorn available here, but opting not to do it at the end of the day. He's going to roam up top instead as he sees Microthorn leave the lane. He probably knows he's being followed out from the top lane there. So far, I'm very upset now, doing really well for himself in the lane, able to use that percent health damage from the Ornn, the tankiness sustained to bully it out. We see the flash from Noise as he's looking for a gank. The bandage toss doesn't connect, but the anchor toss from Jdelian will instead. Now Curse of the Sand Mummy coming out. Bullet time coming across, but the sustain from Wild Goose Chase is disgusting. They do manage to take him down with the help of the Ignite to cut that, but now it's sustained. And XX Wolf going in onto Jdelian. The hook comes out, doesn't land though, so we'll not be able to get out. Instead, Glub has arrived, will finish Jdelian and force the flash and heal out of Imagines, and it looks like Imagines will survive for now. Top lane, a 1v1 duel coming down, the Ornhorn sounding, Microthorn being chased, but it's actually, I'm very upset with less health. He has to be careful, not sure he wants to chase a Wukong into the bush, and action just breaking out across the map here. EXNL able to find themselves a kill or two in the bot lane to balance out Wild Goose's Chase death, and that's going to be a 2-for-1 in that bot lane. Right now, EXNL looking like they're getting the lead in these skirmishes a little bit. The junglers knowing where to be, and Wild Goose Chase is going to roam up to the top. Look for Microthorn there. The charge comes out from Ornn, but they don't get it. And instead, it's going to be the flash from Wild Goose Chase to try and get the fear or slow down. And he's just going to keep hunting Microthorn there. Can he get the kill? Yes, he can, because the bandage toss from Noise misses. And now Noise is alone. The command shockwave comes out. Will pick. I'm very upset now. Down, and suddenly the junglers and the mid laners squaring off in the top side here. Both sides will just back off as Ari fails to land the charm and follow up spells, and that's going to be a 1-for-1 in the top lane there. The beneficiary is going to be mostly the junglers. Actually, Microthorn going to pick up the kill there for himself, and Wild Goose Chase, oh sorry, it's going to be Jason picking up the other kill there. So quite good for the side of Jason that he can get a kill, find something at least to match the roams that Glub has been putting out. We do see Jason here eating a lot of damage, 60% of his health gone in one combo, but he does manage to turn it back around with some of the poke he's been putting out. Orianna, a very, very safe laning champion. And one thing we didn't talk about was the summoner spells the mid laners opted to take here. We've seen a lot of Oriannas do this, taking the teleport just for safety, for laning, so that they can lane safely, skill up, get to the fights they need to get to. And that's what the side of Vengeful Reapers has opted to do here with the double teleports. On the side of EXNL, though, Glubbed Up going with the aggressive Ignite, trusting that he'll be able to get to those fights fast enough, wanting the extra damage here. And we see, I'm very upset in Microton continuing their trades. The ultimate coming out from Microton, but he's taking more damage for now. Does get the second knock up, and I'm very upset. Will have to be forced out there. Doesn't want to have to use the Oran Horn here early, even though he knows that Wild Goose Chase is in the area. But Wild Goose Chase looking like he wants the Herald. And there is vision for Vengeful Reapers in the back of the pit. They'll know it's going down, but they will not be able to stop it. And that's going to be Herald going over the way of EXNL. And he's going to have options where he wants to place it. That mid lane and bot lane are pushing out for the side of EXNL here. EXNL already bringing the mid lane turret down to 3 plates, just under 3 plates here. So if they hold on to that Herald and Shelly gets a good charge, they might be able to just take that first turret in the mid lane here. And the Ocean Drake has spawned. We are seeing the side of Vengeful Reapers starting to aggressively position here for it. They're looking for a gank in the bot lane. They're going to run right into them. The bandage toss misses. Is a beautiful net from Caitlyn. Will keep XX Wolf safe and alive there, but that is most of Vengeful Reapers ready, and the top laners this time do have their teleports available. Last Dragon, both of them had it down, but this time they will be up. The ultimate not available for Wukong, will not have the knock up here. Ornn does have the Oran Horn available, so if they both show up for a 5v5 right now, it looks like EXNL might have a bit of an advantage there. Instead, they're going to back off a little bit for now, as Wild Goose Chase and Glubbed just going to try and get some vision down. They don't want to lose this dragon, get it snuck away from them here. Other than that, we do see Noise looking for another gank. Both junglers very active this game, and that's something we do like to see here. Proactive junglers looking for positionings. The depth charge coming out on to XX Wolf here will force the flash out of her, and the curse of the sad bullet time comes across, but Noise going to take a lot of damage. Ace in the hole coming out, and the bleed is there, but it's going to be Wild Goose Chase taking him down with the Tiamat. And now Jadelian, forced backwards by the fear, will go down the teleport from. I'm very upset, and there's the Oran Horn we're talking about. We'll see Imagines going down, and again 3-4-0 in that bot lane from EXNL. They've been finding a lot of these really good skirmishes. They're going to drop Shelly as well, and look to pick up both the Ocean Drake and the first turret simultaneously here, and they can very well do that. Shelly going to take that turret down to next to nothing, and XX Wolf will be able to easily finish this up here. They might even choose to escort Shelly further, but Imagines and Jadelian are back, so it's going to be a bit difficult. Instead, just going to pick up that Ocean Drake for themselves, and we do see Noise and Imagines running down right now. Noise on his own, getting netted up, will take a lot of damage, has to flash over the wall there as he sees Wild Goose Chase and Sustain closing in, and will be able to find some safety there. Shelly going to get taken down by Imagines in the meantime. That's still first turret going the way of EXNL as well as Ocean Drake. And suddenly the lead balloons up from that 1,000 gold lead we were talking about earlier to now about a 4,000 plus gold lead here on the side of EXNL, and that puts them firmly in the driver's seat right now. They are ahead, and that's where they want to be. They are a pick composition, so they want to find those isolated and targets and take them down one by one. They don't want massive team fights, but so far I've got to say XX will sustain, and Wild Goose Chase playing the bot lane immaculately here. That's a lot of AoE CC coming out. The depth charge followed by the Curse of the Sad Mummy and the bullet time. Normally that's an extremely strong combo in a 3v3, but not really able to find anything. Now I'm very upset, has to be careful. His Sunfire Cape getting aggro from the turret, gets knocked up under there, will lose a lot of his health here and does not have the teleport. Might even go down just from Microthorn chasing, but bot lane, Jadelian getting picked. A beautiful hook will finish him, will get him, and the auto from Sustain, the empowered auto, will take him out there, and that's the pick potential we're talking about. The death sentence coming out of the Thresh, the charm coming out of Ahri, traps coming out of Caitlyn. You get hit by any of those, and suddenly you find yourself CC locked for days. Sustain now looking for another death sentence, does find it onto Jason KB. The trap comes out, the net comes out, and Jason KB having to run. The ace in the hole coming out, and the trap stops Imagines from body blocking, but the heal will be enough to keep Jason KB alive. And suddenly, Curse of the Sad Bullet Time coming out, a flash from Sustain to keep him alive. And Walgushe is getting really aggressive into the backline that will be able to find and take down Jason KB, and a beautiful play to keep Jason KB under turret. Will see him, Noise under turret, will see him going down as well. They have to be careful. Imagine's trying to base into turret, but we already saw Walgushe dive the first time. He's not afraid to dive a second time. They're going to take a bunch of turret damage, but he does not care, and they force yet another flash out. That's 2 flashes, 3 flashes, but in the mid lane from that fight, Jason KB, Imagines, and Jadelian all having to use their flashes there, and that will be a free mid turret now for the side of EXNL after picking up 3 kills. Just keeping track of that gold lead. It's now a 6.8 thousand gold lead, which is about to go up as I'm Very Upset continues to pound away on that top turret. They're doing a lot of damage. They will take it eventually, and Microthorn right now, the only one to really go even in his lane will have to be the saving grace for his team here. He's going damage, and we've seen that Wukong can really shred those squishies when he gets onto them. So if he can get onto Glub Glub, if he can get onto XX Wolf, he might be able to turn those fights. And that's all the outer turrets down now for the side of Vengeful Reapers. And EXNL needs to continue pushing this. They cannot let off the gas here and let Vengeful Reapers take control. They are up 14-5 right now, and on the side of Vengeful Reapers, they kind of want to just farm up and fight those huge 5v5 fights and objectives. They do want to, however, wait for Imagines to hit that first item. Power Spike looks like he's going for potentially an Essence Reaver there. But on the side of XX Wolf, he's already completed 2 major items, the Infinity Edge and the Rapid Fire Cannon completed on the side of XX Wolf. So for these team fights, Imagines going to be useful pretty much only for the ultimate for now. We do see EXNL getting aggressive, getting those aggressive wards into the jungle. If you take a look there, getting some vision onto the top side because they want this Herald. They are going to be able to take it, and on the side of Vengeful Reapers, they're not going to be able to get in at all. Somebody needs to pick up that eye, and it's going to go over to Glub Glub instead, so Glub Glub will be able to put it down somewhere. And on the side of Vengeful Reapers, they've actually got a really good vision line set up on their own side of the jungle, and that's where it needs to be right now. They are on the back foot. They do not want to be warding out too far up right now because they can't catch and punish if they're too far out, but in their own jungle, that's their chance. They need to look for that full 5 fight. But that being said, the Cloud Drake is coming up in about 30 seconds here, and both teams are going to want that cooldown reduction. Both teams benefiting a lot from their ultimates, and if Vengeful can get their hands on it, that's going to be a huge boost in how often they can fight. But they have to be careful. Jadelian getting caught up by the charm there from Glub Glub, and he's going to lose a chunk of his health. That's like 70% gone in one full rotation, and that might just mean Vengeful has to give up on this Cloud Drake completely here. Glub Glub going to drop Shelly into that mid lane there. Going to walk it up with it, and will be able to get quite a big chunk off the inner turret. The rest of the team not there. Almost taking it down by itself. That turret less than 100 health remaining, and Glub Glub will be able to just auto it one time to take yet another turret there, and they will pick up the Cloud Drake as well. And things are looking quite dire here for the side of Vengeful Reapers. I think looking at their picks and bans and how they've played right now, the issue really isn't so much in the picks and bans here. They did pretty well there, and we do see Glub Glub now looking to pick Noise up potentially. Spirit rushing in, does finally get the charm there after having to dodge around all those Raptors, but a good flash from Noise will get him to safety, and it's going to be in the bot lane instead. That they're going to just dive Jason KB. Walgushe is going to tank that turret. 4 shots there. Does not care, and the damage is good enough that Jason KB cannot be caught on his own, even under a turret, and that means 2 inner turrets now down for the side of Vengeful Reapers. Only the top lane turret left there, as Microthorn is still able to hold against I'm Very Upset. But this is okay. I'm Very Upset doesn't mind fighting the 1v1 and just holding Microthorns into the top lane there. That's a win for EXNL if they can do that, because everywhere else on that map, EXNL is extremely, extremely strong here. So Vengeful Reaper is going to have to look over this game a little bit and see what went wrong here. Down almost, down 9,000 gold at about 20 minutes. Has not managed to secure themselves a single major objective. All the dragons and all the heralds going the way of EXNL here. They did manage to get one turret at least in that top lane. But that is not enough. And so the question becomes, was it mechanical play or was it just perhaps not following the game plan here in the early game? Because they definitely struggled to get out of early game, and their composition is that mid-game team comp, that AoE press R wombo combo, and they haven't really been able to get that off at all. So they'll have to look into seeing what they can do about that, because even at this point, if they do get the wombo combo off in a full fives, I'm not sure they might necessarily win that fight. They're gonna need uneven numbers. And Baron is available at this point in the game. EXNL has vision on it, does have the pink ward, so they can potentially sneak it or even maybe just force a fight there. Top lane, Microthorn sitting in the bush, potentially looking to try and make something happen as Jadelian coming up, the rest of the team coming up as well. And the knock up here, the depth charge coming out, and a stopwatch from Caitlyn. XX Wolf, will it be enough? The second knock up comes out, and XX Wolf barely getting out. The fear there, saving XX Wolf's life, but he has to be careful. The anchor toss coming up from Jadelian, and it's gonna be sustained going down now in the back line. The Ornhorn coming out will find Noise. They did manage to stop the flank from Glub, but it won't be enough, as the Ornhorn means they'll be able to pick 3 up Jadelian, and Imagine's going down as well. And now XX Wolf being chased down. Microthorn will just barely be able to pick him up with, I think it was the red buff potentially, but Gouche is going to finish him off, and that's going to be a 4-4-2 there in favor of EXNL. They might have lost the ADC, but they'll still be able to get a good push here going. Goose Chase able to shred turrets as well, and Glub going to be able to just keep autoing that turret. It looks like I'm very upset, going to opt to go for the red buff instead, and this means that all the inner turrets here are going to go down for the side of Vengeful Reapers, and now they've just got that last line of defense, the shell of the base there, but that is the hardest defense to break, so EXNL gonna have to find some way there to stop, to break past that inner shell, the inhibitor shell there. Ooh, and Noise gonna have to be careful, gonna get brittled up. The death sentence comes up, and it ends up going to sustain. I believe it was the aftershock there, potentially picking it up, so I'm very upset. Lots of reasons to live up to his name this game here, as he gets his kill stolen here by Sustain. And EXNL does have options. They have Baron available to take. They can wait for that Cloud Drake Soul as well if they want. Cloud Drake Soul not necessarily the most helpful soul for breaking the base turret shell there, but still nice to pick up and would help them rotate that much faster. Or they can potentially just look for a fight, try and find the side of Vengeful Reapers outside their base. But unfortunately, while Gouche is looking for that ambush, was sat right on top of a ward here, and they've got 3 people on him, and that's both the carries, Jason, KB, Imagines, and Jadelian, and they were unable to take down a single lonesome wild goose chase on the Warwick, and that is not good news for the side of Vengeful Reapers, that they were unable to find and catch, or they're unable to kill after finding Wild Goose Chase on his own, isolated there. And it looks like they're just going to go for that Cloud Drake Soul for the side of EXNL. Going to play this out methodically. Going to take the soul before they start looking for the push. Potentially also going to pick Baron up. We'll have to see if they want to do that. I mean, they could just siege it up with Caitlyn. Caitlyn, one of the longest ranged ADCs in the game, can quite safely siege up turrets there, especially with that tanky frontline, with the Ornn, with the Thresh that give additional safety and crowd control, can just siege it up extremely well. And looks like they're just going to do that here. We're going to push out the bot lane. They're going to group as 5. They're not going to go for a split push right now. And as 5, if they catch anybody with a death sentence, with the charm, they could potentially burst that person down before they get anything. And oof, that damage from XX Wolf onto the turret. The charm comes out. Jadelian already down to 30% of his health. Might be forced out instead. We see the teleport coming out from Microthorn here. He is in the back. Does have flanking position, but he's already used up the teleport speed boost. This is going to be Noise engaging from the front. Will go down, but the bullet time does do a lot of damage onto XX Wolf, and Microthorn is onto the back line there. does manage to take down Ex's Wolf, but the GA will keep him alive, and Sustain doing work in the front, picks up a double kill onto Imagines and J-Delian. And now Jason finally takes him down, but Wild Goose Chase is just sitting on top of him. Will go unstoppable as he takes Wild Goose Chase down, and Microthorn finally gonna drop in the backline, and that's an excellent type fight for EXNL, only losing one person Sustain in the entire fight. That's the support, and this could be game here. The respawn timers at 26 minutes aren't extremely long. Noise already gonna respawn, but that's still an inhibitor cracked open, and that was a brute force through the front of their faces there in the base, and if they can do that to one, they can do that to the other two. Not to mention they actually have supers going to be pushing up that bot lane now, so Vengeful Reaper is going to have to be extremely careful pushing out anytime now. It looks like EXNL just going to back out and reset a little bit here. They do have quite a bit of gold to spend for themselves here in their inventories. X6 Wolf sat on about 2,000 gold, and Wild Goose Chase sat on about 1,600 gold as well. So both of them can base and buy, and it looks like Wild Goose Chase is going to finish up the Spirit Visage and will have the components for the Sterix as well. Or potentially, sorry, the Tiamat upgrade item there will make him tankier, even harder to kill than he already is. We've seen him dive turrets without a care in the world already, and with these items it's going to make him that much harder to take down. But we do see the Executioners coming out of Imagines there, and that's a solid choice right now. That will cut a lot of Wild Goose Chase's tankiness down, because a lot of it does come from the regeneration there, but building that does mean a delay in the rest of Imagine's build path. Does have the Essence Reaver completed now, has the BF Sword, so potentially looking for maybe an Infinity Edge or something just to build boost up the straight damage. And it looks like EXNL going to head towards that Baron right now, and I'm not sure Vengeful Reapers can really contest this. They do have supers pushing into their base here, and Imagines has to deal with that. And Noise might try and sneak a steal, but he's really, really far away. They have vision of Noise coming in as well. And the teleport coming from I'm Very Upset will be more than enough to dissuade Noise from closing in. That's going to be a free Baron going the way of EXNL, and really they've got all the pieces they need right now to end this game out. They're going to group as 5, just push down the mid lane here with the burned up minions, with super minions coming in the bot wave. Again, Caitlyn can just poke from range there, very, very safely siege up the turret. Almost like having another burned up siege cannon there. And instead, Sustain flashing and gets the flay onto Jason KB. Unfortunately, does not get the follow-up death sentence, and instead the Ornhorn missing as well. J-Delian getting really, really low as Glub going in on that. And XX Wolf is free to free fire in the back line, will continue to get damage down. We do see Sustain going down once again, but he did his job. He got the engage. The fight is started here, and now I'm Very Upset tanking a lot of damage. Infinite Directs coming out will pick Jason KB up, and I'm Very Upset has to be careful. He's tanking the turret a bit too much here. He is tanky, but he is not Wild Goose Chase. Does not have the Sustain to do so, but that might still be game here, as one of the Nexus turrets going down, the other soon to follow, and now they're free firing on the Nexus itself. That will be game for EXNL. 29 minutes and 17 seconds going to be the final time here for the game. 28-10. Well played, EXNL. And XX Wolf doing a ton of work here for his team. 10, 1, and 12. Only dying once here. Glub, not even dying a single time this game. 3, 0, and 6 as well, and a lot of that coming from the engages from Wild Goose Chase and Sustain. Great catches here, great picks, and they really just steamrolled that game, took the early lead and just ran right away with it. Extremely well played from EXNL, and from the side of Vengeful Reapers, it really felt like they couldn't quite find the groove this game, didn't really get those engages. Noise struggling to get the right bandage tosses there, and a lot of time spent in that bot lane. And those ganks didn't work out. A lot of them got turned. There were 2 3-4-0s or 3-4-1s in that bot lane there for the side of Vengeful Reapers. And when you set a Mumu that far behind, his initiates are a lot less scary. So I think on the side of Vengeful Reapers, their drop, their picks and bans were perfectly fine. It's more a question of execution and trying to make sure that they don't give away too much early. So I am definitely looking to the side of Vengeful Reapers to sort of wake up and bring a much closer game to here. And we've seen Vengeful pull that off before. They're an extremely scrappy team, can go toe-to-toe with the best of the best here in Coalition. So definitely want to see that happen here. And with that, we will head into a short intermission break while we prepare for game 2 here. And we'll see you guys all in a couple minutes.